When it comes to XRP, obviously the last 12 months have been very, very good. Yes, we are seeing a market sell-off. Yes, we're still in the middle of the correction, but the last year, XRP is still up over 300+%. We hit a high of like $3.60 off of the lows of roughly like 50 and 40 cents. So listen, XRP has done tremendously well over the last 12 months. Now, the biggest thing that I have talked about so far this year has been XRP ETFs, because I feel as if a lot of people are kind of overlooking how big they will be. And most of the mainstream media outlets in this space are kind of just writing them off. They're saying, oh yeah, they're not going to really do much. They're not going to be a big, showstopper for XRP. They just don't see the value behind ETFs for XRP. And I think that it's crazy because it's at a time where XRP has outperformed almost every single asset in the top 100 outside of new launches. Now, for thinking about that, right, like XRP so far off of the bear market lows to the high that we hit this cycle, XRP has done over 1,157% of a push to the upside. It's currently still up 860+% off of the bear market lows. Think about how crazy that is. This is why I keep saying that people are not looking at the big picture here when it comes to XRP ETFs. They're looking at this and saying, oh yeah, sure, the ETF might be successful for XRP. No, it's going to be huge for XRP. And the reason why I say that is because think about Ethereum, right? So Ethereum was pretty boring, even though it had ETFs. Okay, there was already ETFs around Ethereum back in 2024. And yeah, I mean, listen, Ethereum did have a nice pump, but it didn't hit new all-time highs. It didn't even hit a new high going off of the 2021 high. We sold off into, the bottom of April, right? Because I know that this is saying March, but most of the market bottomed in April. It was kind of like the end of March into April, but regardless of that, Ethereum's ETFs didn't really make an impact until Ethereum started to break out. And the crazy part about this is XRP already made a new high compared to the 2021 high. Sorry to interrupt the video, but gold just made a new all-time high yesterday. And if you want to catch the waves in both the precious metals market as well as the crypto market, ITrustCapital is your best friend. They offer both crypto and gold and silver trading, but that's not it. If you also want to tap into the IRA side of ITrustCapital to make sure that you are including both crypto and precious metals in your portfolio, you could do that. And also, premium custody accounts include both as well. So if you want to go and tap into this, you guys are more than welcome to in the description down below, as well as in the comments down below, utilizing my link where you deposit $1,000 and you get a free exclusive $100 funding bonus right now. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. And with that being said, let's dive on back into the video. Yeah, we're still talking about the 2017-2018 all-time high, but for the most part, XRP has performed even without the ETFs. So think about what the ETFs can do for XRP with XRP already having such a significant push in this market. It could significantly multiply the price of XRP. I don't think people realize this because it has done that same exact thing for Ethereum. Now, I bring all of this up because over on Polymarket, we now have a 99+% chance that we get an ETF approval for XRP by the end of this year. And I would agree, especially at a time where we are about to witness major decisions around ongoing XRP ETFs. Now, if we're thinking about this, we also go over here to my post from earlier yesterday, which was, yes, the typical Cointelegraph FUD that will soon be ratioed by XRP's largest green candle in history once the ETFs are approved. Because Cointelegraph said, insight, XRP is more likely to see profit taking than a price surge due to new ETFs, while Polymarket odds favor Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum hitting new highs this year. Trade secrets via Cointelegraph magazine. Interesting. So Cointelegraph is now saying that Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are favored over XRP, and XRP will likely see a sell-off rather than a surge with ETF approvals. How comical is this? This is coming from an account, by the way, that has 2.8 million followers. This is one of the largest crypto media outlets in this space. This is so comical. Again, let's go back to the chart of XRP. XRP has done tremendously well this cycle, and we are about to witness a flood of ETF decisions being made around XRP at the same exact time that on the 17th, the SEC just approved generic listing standards for commodity-based trust shares. XRP fits this standard. XRP already has a futures trading position on Coinbase, which, by the way, yes, that is one thing that needs to be in place in order for that altcoin, or any altcoin, if you will, to get approval for ETFs. You need to be, already on Coinbase around a futures trading position. But what's crazy about this is XRP fits that standard. This is at a time where October's upcoming, and we have 5 currently on this list, 6, 7, 8, 9 official decisions around XRP ETFs in October. The outliers here are Franklin Templeton's in November and then Volatility Shares in December. But there is a massive amount of ETFs waiting on the sidelines for either approval or denial in October at the same exact time that the SEC just gave the green light to a new framework for ETFs for altcoins. This is a huge deal. Now, on top of that, we also just got 7 more XRP ETF filings that will be in place by the end of this year. The ETFs around XRP are stacking up. These are all filings. It's crazy to watch as this is happening because, again, the market is not prepared for this. It's very clear when you read things like this from one of the largest media outlet accounts in the crypto space. Now, on top of this, we just got another update around a grouped ETF. We have here from James Seifert, we have new Hashdex has filed with the SEC to allow NCIQ, their crypto index fund, which currently holds only Bitcoin and Ethereum, to hold the other assets in the NASDAQ crypto index that meets the new SEC generic listing standards. That's that standard that we just went over that got approved on the 17th. In this standard, here we have all of the other assets in the index and their weights. I think the only asset that doesn't meet the current GLS is Uniswap. Here we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, we have XRP, we have Solana, ADA, Link, XLM, and Uni. And yes, Uni does not fit that standard, but XRP does. So it seems as though XRP is going to be included on yet another grouped ETF. This is a big deal. Okay, now, when we are thinking about this, this is the only, so he said, oh, take it back. They will be following the US NASDAQ crypto index, which is only slightly different. So just going off of this list, XRP is still included. XLM's on here, Solana's on here, ADA's on here. But the main thing that we're focused on here is XRP. XRP ETFs are stacking up. These are even grouped ETFs as well, which will see a significant amount of inflows. I'm pretty sure that this is also a spot-based ETF. So all of this is going to impact spot XRP trading volume, which I'm very excited about. Now, this also reminds me back to the announcement on the 19th that we recently got, which was new Grayscale ETF holds multiple cryptocurrencies together, combining Bitcoin, Solana, and others. And yes, XRP was another one that was included in this grouped ETF. And we did hear from Grayscale's head of research, Zach Pandel, on the launch of the Grayscale Coinbase Crypto 5 ETF, GDLC, made up of XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, and ADA. Big shout out to All in Crypto for this. This is ushering the age of index investing in crypto. Check it out.
Had approval and the trading begins today for the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF, a diversified index-based crypto investment product. Really, this is ushering in the age of index investing in crypto. Throughout many other asset classes, investors prefer to get index exposure. They don't want to be stock pickers or bond pickers. They want to access the asset class in a way that represents the broad set of exposures and automatically rebalances over time. And this is exactly what they're going to get with this product, the Crypto 5 product from Grayscale and CoinDesk. I think it's going to be a great solution for a lot of investors. Grayscale is out in the world talking to mainstream investors about crypto every single day. And we hear demand for this type of product all the time. And we're thrilled to be able to offer it in the most efficient product structure that investors prefer, which is the ETP or ETF wrapper. So the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 Index, I think, will be a great way for investors to get a crypto allocation, a crypto sleeve in a portfolio without having to go too deep into all the complexity of blockchain technology or to try to figure out which one is going to be, the fastest, blockchain in the future, et cetera. They can have an allocation to the asset class that will automatically rebalance and make sure that you're experiencing the growth in the asset class overall. And I think there's going to be a lot of demand for this product.
And that's also another thing, right? Like, I feel as if it's such it's just common sense, right? If we're thinking about how successful Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs have been, right? It's great. XRP is still the third largest crypto asset. If we are thinking about this logically, XRP has done tremendously well. And if I was a sidelined investor looking at the crypto space and saying, all right, well, Bitcoin has done very well, Ethereum has done very well, XRP has been very good, I want to get some of that in my ETF. If we're thinking about adding this to an ETF portfolio, right, it 100% makes sense. If XRP is going to be grouped next to Ethereum and Bitcoin in any grouped ETF like this, or even like the Hashdex one, it's going to see tremendous amount of demand. But also, XRP on its own is also going to be very successful. I don't understand why we have FUD like this around XRP. It makes no sense. But we are starting to see the ETF flood really pick up. And the second that it hits this market, I think just like XRP silenced so many back in November, we're going to see the same exact thing happen here. Anyone that's doubting how successful these XRP ETFs could be and will be, in my opinion, they're really going to be sitting on the sidelines, wishing that they bought more XRP, wishing that they had more XRP, or maybe simply just wishing that they didn't FUD XRP and got a position of XRP. Because again, these ETFs are prime examples that institutional grade adoption is picking up. Wall Street's here to take over. They want to make sure that they get a slice of the pie, but then also retail that's simply not, technologically savvy with exchanges in the space. They know that they could just tap into these ETFs and get, some exposure to this market through, say for so they're using BlackRock, right? Or maybe Fidelity. Doesn't matter, right? They know how the traditional markets work. They could easily tap in. So that's just one big obstacle completely removed, which allows them to get exposure to XRP, which also still impacts the spot, value volume of XRP as well. So again, I think Coinbase is going to be wrong here, or Cointelegraph is going to be wrong here, and we're going to see XRP really make history once we start to see the ETFs get approved as well. And I think that that's also going to be a huge catalyst for XRP's price to expand even higher to the upside, because again, it's more demand, it's more value in XRP, just like Ethereum saw that big inflow once Ethereum started to perform. XRP's already been performing this year. I still think that XRP still has a lot of fuel left in it. But the ETFs will definitely, allow for a lot more steam so that XRP pushes higher. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, so notifications on because I'm free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.